Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We're Tom and Melissa and we're really happy that you're here with us. This is Subscriber Sunday number 3. It's the third Sunday that we have chosen a recipe that was sent in by one of our subscribers. Actually, today this recipe was sent in by 2 subscribers and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we're doing recipes that our subscribers have sent to us on Sundays for the next several weeks. We kind of like doing series. It's kind of fun to do some kind of a series that has a theme. And we thought it would be fun to use some of the recipes that you have sent to us. So today we're going to do a dish called Russian chicken or Russian sweet and sour chicken that was actually sent to us by 2 different people. First, we got this recipe from a lady named Vicki Newsom and her sister Cheryl Russell. Now, they tell me in their letter that they are originally from West Virginia. Go West Virginia. But they've lived in Nashville for quite a while. And I want you to look what they sent us. This is crazy. It's a good crazy, though. I want you to look at all these recipes. It's just dozens of recipes. I can't even leaf through them. There's so many of them. Look at this. It's wonderful.
And you have tagged a bunch of them, I see.
Well, yeah. Can you see all these yellow Post-it notes I've stuck in there? You know what that means? There are lots of good recipes in there I want to try. But at the very back of the book is this recipe called Russian Sweet Sour Chicken. So, I had already marked it, thought it looked really good, when a couple of days ago, I get this envelope in the mail from Virginia Willard Harrell in Brandon, Mississippi. Now, I'm going to tell you that when I opened this letter and saw all these recipe cards that she sent, I was thrilled because I thought this is somebody who knows a good recipe. But what really caught my eye was part of her letter that says, in my 38 years of teaching 5th grade, I've received some really good recipes from coworkers. Well, Ms. Harrell, my hat's off to you. 38 years of teaching 5th grade. I did it for 27 years. I can't imagine having done 11 more. But I instantly had a connection because of that. And the very first recipe card on the top of that stack was for, guess what? Russian chicken. So when I looked at Vicky's recipe and Willard's recipe, they have the exact same ingredients. They are exactly the same as far as ingredients go. The method of cooking it is slightly different. One of them breads the chicken or dredges the chicken in flour before baking it. The other one doesn't. One bakes it at 325, one bakes it at 350. But they are pretty much the same recipe. And I thought, okay, that has to be a sign. If I get the same recipe from 2 people, it has to mean it's good. So that's the recipe that we're going to do today for Subscriber Sunday. Now, I want to show you what we're going to use. And it doesn't get much simpler than this. It's 4 ingredients. You're going to use some chicken breast. Both of them said to use 8 chicken breast or to use 4 really large chicken breast and cut them in half, making 8 cutlets. So I got a pack of chicken and thought I would cut them in half, and it had 5 chicken breasts in it. But when I got them out and started to cut them, I realized they're not quite thick enough to cut in half and then bake for an hour and a half without maybe over baking. So I'm just leaving these whole, and I'm going to use 5 instead of 8, and I think it fits in this pan fine anyway. So we just have a 9x13 pan that I have sprayed with nonstick spray, and we've put our chicken in there. The next thing we're going to use is a bottle of Russian dressing, Wishbone brand Russian dressing. Ms. Harrell told me in her letter that she has trouble finding this at her grocery, and so did I. She said that she orders it from Amazon. So when I went to 3 grocery stores and none of them had this, I got on Amazon, literally standing in the grocery store, and found that they had this Russian dressing, Wishbone, just like she said she uses, for $2. Well, it was a little over $2. I don't know, $2.48, $2.78 something. And it had free shipping and next day delivery. So I ordered it and it came the very next day and it was $2 and something. So if you can't find it in your grocery store, you can order it from Amazon. It's not too expensive and they'll ship it for free if you have Prime. The next ingredient is a jar of apricot preserves. Both of their recipes said to use apricot preserves. So I'm assuming that's what you really need to use. Now, if you can't find apricot preserves, then you might have to switch it out for something else. I don't know, pineapple or some other flavor.
Peach, maybe?
Peach. I don't know why peach wouldn't work if you could find it, but apricot is what both of their recipes called for, so that's what I'm using. And the last ingredient is 1 envelope of onion soup mix, and it's just the dry onion soup. Now, another difference in the recipes was that one of them, you just blend these two together and pour over it. The other one, you put them in a saucepan and heat these before you pour it over. I don't know that it's going to make a difference, but I'm going to heat them. So, I'm going to add the dressing to my sauce pot. I'm going to turn that fire on, get this started heating. And I want every bit of that out there if I can. One of the recipes said to use, I believe it said 10 ounces of apricot preserves and let me look, an 8-ounce bottle of dressing. Well, I couldn't find an 8-ounce bottle of dressing. This one's the only one I could find online, and it was 15 ounces, so almost double. But I'm going to go ahead and use it because I can't imagine that having a little extra sauce on there would hurt anything. It should just make it even juicier. So I'm going to use the whole thing. And one of the recipes said to use the jar of apricot preserves. The other one said to use 10 ounces. I believe it was 10. Let me check to make sure. Yes, 10 ounces. So I'm probably not going to, well, you know, since I used extra.
You're using extra.
Yeah, maybe I
dressing.
should use all of this. So I'm just going to put it in. And ladies, please forgive me for not following your directions exactly, but since I have 2 different recipes, I just have to kind of pick and choose. And I'm going to tell you, this looks good. The ingredients sound really good, so I can't imagine it would hurt to put a little extra or change it just a little. All right. You know, we have really enjoyed receiving some recipes from our subscribers. It's been fun to go to the mailbox and there'll be an envelope or a package there, and Melissa or whoever goes to the post office box, comes out saying, "We got something." It's kind of fun. No, it's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm just going to whisk this because the recipe that says to heat it, I think it was Miss Harrell's recipe. I think it said to heat it so until it was almost smooth. So I'm assuming that by getting it smooth, it needs to be whisked. It's already bubbling around the edges. So it's getting hot. Man, that already smells good.
It does smell good.
Mm.
It's a nice combination.
Mm-hmm. I would think the Russian dressing's got a little bit of a sour, a little bit of a tangy taste to it, and the apricot preserves are sweet. And that's probably where Vicky got the title Russian Sweet and Sour Chicken. Okay, I'm going to let that sit there and continue to heat for just a minute. And I'm going to go over and put our packet of onion soup on our chicken. One of the recipes said to stir this into the Russian dressing and the apricot preserves. The other one said just to sprinkle it on top of the chicken. So I think I'll do that. I am going to crush this up some, because it seems to have kind of gotten hard in the packaging. I think it just gets mushed in there some. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over. Man, this smells good too. Whew. Got a little on the counter. That smells so good. Okay. Well, that's done. So let's check our dressing. Oh yeah, it's bubbling. So I think it's ready. All right, that didn't take long. Get all that off my whisk, because we don't want to lose any of that, do we? Grab my mitts here. I really like these little mitts. Melissa and I found these when we were in Florida back in January and February. Man, they are the handiest little things. Okay, so I'm just going to, you probably can't see over my arm, Melissa.
Oh, we'll make it work.
Okay, I'm going to try to be gentle when I do this and not knock that onion soup mix off of it. Now, one of the recipes said to bake it an hour and a half at 350. The other one said she preferred to bake it at 325 for an hour and a half. So I always like to bake things low and slow. I feel like it really tenderizes something to bake it low and slow. So I'm going to go with 325. My oven is already preheated. Man, I'm telling you, this already looks really good. Okay. There we go. And we'll get a spatula to scrape that out, because you know I can't stand that. Don't want to waste it. That might just be the extra sauce we need on there. You never know. Okay.
We both like a lot of sauce.
We do.
We don't like things dry.
Nope. No dry pasta for us.
I think this is going to be plenty of sauce.
I think so too. Of course, as it cooks, it might thicken.
Right.
And reduce some.
I'm also thinking we're not going to eat 5 chicken breasts, so when we reheat to have leftovers,
Absolutely.
that might be nice to keep it nice and moist too.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to put the chicken in the oven for, it does not say to cover it, I don't think. Let me read. Bake hour and a half at 325. Serve over rice. It does not say to cover it. And I don't believe this one does either. Place in a casserole, pour over the mixture. It does not mention covering it. So I'm not going to cover it. And in an hour and a half, when we get ready to have dinner, we'll come back and let you see what this looks like. I bet it's going to be delicious. We'll be back in an hour and a half. Our chicken has baked for an hour and a half at 325, and I'm going to tell you, this house smells wonderful. The entire house smells, and it's a great smell. Now, I have made some rice, like they suggested. So we are going to put some rice. Let me get a spoon here. We are going to put some rice down. And I do want to say again, Vicki and Cheryl and Willard, we do appreciate you sharing this recipe with us. It's always nice to get a recipe that's tried and true that we can count on because other people have made it. And especially the number of recipes, my goodness. I do want to show you this sauce. Now, I probably did something wrong by using the entire bottle of Russian dressing and the entire jar of apricot. I probably should have used half of each because this made a lot of sauce. I do know that Vicki and Cheryl's recipe said to use about half of the dressing and about half of the apricot preserves. But Willard's recipe said to use a bottle, which I interpreted to mean the whole bottle, and a jar of preserves. So I should have done half and half. This probably made more sauce than what we really needed for it. But you know what? This sauce is going to be really good over the rice. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to take some of the sauce and just drizzle it right over my rice. I think that will be delicious. And then I think I'll take this chicken breast right here and put it right on the plate beside of it. And look at, I know this looks a little thin, but I want you to look at the back of this spoon, how it coats that spoon. So that's a nice sauce that sticks really well. So don't think that this is just some watery sauce that's going to run off. It's not. It's a really nice sticky sauce. Okay. Babe, you gonna take the first bite?
Yes. I'm gonna take the first bite.
Wow, that's really tender too. I'm gonna get you just a little bite of the rice to go with it. And a bite of the chicken. Yum, yum. Don't burn your mouth.
That is really good.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, it smells so good. And that chicken is as tender as a mother's love. Is it too hot?
No, not too bad.
Okay. I'll hold this up so I don't drip it.
We waited a few minutes on the rice to finish, so that helped it. Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm. Wow. That sauce is delicious. Vicki and Cheryl are right. Has a little bit of a sweet and sour taste to it. That is really good. And you know, there's plenty here for us to have for dinner tonight and have leftovers tomorrow. And I'm all about leftovers. I do see why they said to have 8 chicken pieces in there. There was enough room. I could have squeezed those in. As they baked and shrunk a little bit, there was plenty of room. But I put in what I had. So next time, I'll try to find 8 pieces of chicken. All right. Thank you again for watching our video. We do appreciate it. Please click that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't. Remember, the written recipe is right below the video where you see the title of this recipe. If you'll click that, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe right there for you. And our contact information is right under that recipe. And of course, there's a place at the bottom of the screen where you can add a comment if you'd like. All right. Thanks again, Vicki and Cheryl and Willard. We do appreciate you sending in recipes. Next Sunday, we will do Subscriber Sunday number 4. So make sure you come back and check to see what we make from one of our subscribers. We want you to remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.